Look at that. That is absolutely sensational. Oh man. Come on. That is a perfect pudding. That is oatmeal ginger cake made. Oh, look at that. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing an oatmeal ginger cake. Absolutely delicious. It's absolutely chucking it down with rain outside. Fantastic little cake or pudding. You know, you can eat this thing with a nice cuppa or, you know, whipped cream, ice cream, and I'm going to have it with custard. It's straightforward. It's a simple recipe. Beat a few things together, pour it in a tray, and the tray I'm using today is actually 11 by 9. However, 8 by 8 is the better way to go. You'll get a higher cake, but you know, I'm going for a longer cake, and it'll be high enough for a pudding. We'll just have bigger slices. There you go. Anyway, it's simple. In here I've got rolled oats. In here I've got hot water. So tip the hot water on the oats, give it a little squidge down, and leave it for 10 minutes. 10 minutes to rehydrate. Okay, now what we will do, we will use all the water, all the oats in the baking of the cake, because obviously that's going to absorb most of that. So there you go. First job. Now I'm going to leave that 5 minutes, and then I'm going to cream the butter and sugar, and then it'll all combine together. So just leave it 5 minutes. Okay, look at that. That is absolutely superb. That's good enough. That's at about 6 minutes actually. Now the water was hot, so we'll stuff that to one side. We're going to take our butter, we're going to whack in our sugar, and we're going to cream it together. Make sure you've got your oven on, by the way, about 180. There you go. In we go, cream it together. I'll do, let's just give it a little stir around in there. What we got? We've got a few little bits of brown sugar, look, that we need to squash. And then we've got it all creamed up nicely. Right, before we actually put the eggs and things in there, this is my flour. And I'm just going to go in there with a little bit of salt. Bit of salt in. I've got some baking soda, not baking powder. You know, there's enough acidity in the oats and the ginger to actually rise this. So we want to be going in there with some baking soda. I've got a little bit of cinnamon. I'm mixing all the dry now because I actually want to use the dry as we beat the eggs in. A little bit of cinnamon in there, look. And of course, we're making a ginger cake in there with some ginger. Now let's just give that a mix in. Now you could whisk it in, but I've got a spoon in my hands. That'll do. Ordinary all-purpose plain flour. Full ingredients as per usual in the description. There you go. Back to our sugary butter mix. In there, a little bit of vanilla. Now I've got a couple of eggs here, and it always says 1 egg at a time, so they're going in. Give it a little beat. Now what I'm going to do is chuck in some flour. That's going to stop the eggs from curdling. We're just going to give that a mix in. I'm going to chuck the rest of my flour in there. Now you can fold all this in, and we could have put the oats in, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix that in and then we'll put the oats in. Take all your oat mixture and dump it in there. Grab your spatula and start mixing. Now it doesn't really matter how you get it in, you know, we just want all that in there. Fabulous. There you go. I've got a couple of oats here, look. In fact, it's a little pinch of oats, and I've just put some water in there. I'm just going to give them about a minute to soak up some of that water, and I'm going to put that on top of the cake. Right, grab your tin that you're going to use, and it's basically chuck your mix in there. So there we go. We want to give it just one of those. We're not going to go out too much, and we don't compress it whatever you do. That's fairly even. Okay, well, let's get a couple of these oats out of here on here. Let's see if this works. It might do, it might not. What we're hoping for is the cake to rise up and have some oats on the top. So there you go, there's our cake. Absolutely fabulous, it's straightforward, and it's wacky in the oven. Now it's going to go in for about 30 minutes because it's small. If you did an 8x8, you're going 30-35. Let's get that in there. It smells absolutely marvellous in here. When you've had your time, we need to be sticking a skewer in to make sure it's okay. That is as clean as a whistle. That cake is done. We can get that out of there. Come on. There we are. That is a beautiful, beautiful cake. Right, we've got to leave that in there 10 minutes. Leave it in 10 minutes and then we take it out to cool down. Fabulous. Look at that. That is fabulous. Right, we're going to, in fact, I'm going to leave it in that tray a minute. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a quick glaze to go over the top of there, because when you look at that, it looks a bit anemic. It's a lovely ginger colour. Oh, that's hot. It's a lovely ginger colour and it looks like a nice ginger cake, but there's nothing on there. So let's make a glaze. We'll make a simple glaze. And this thing is going to be really simple. Let's just put that there, that's warm. In here, icing sugar. We're gonna actually make it a bit gingery, actually, of course we are. So we want about 1/4 teaspoon. Let's just give that a mix in. So that's got that in there. And obviously if we put this on there, it's going to be white. So we don't want that. We want to take some treacle, I reckon. Now you can use molasses for this type of glaze. I've got black treacle here, look. So we want a tablespoon. Of course we do. In there. Now it's a cheats glaze this. That is a little bit of warm milk. And when I say warm, it's on the side. Now, let's bring this in. Hopefully it's going to be a nice dark brown colour. Now this is going to have a really nice smokiness from the black treacle, but if you use a molasses, obviously it's going to take that molasses flavour on. But it's going to be sweet as well because of the icing sugar. Okay, take your warm cake. So it's nice and straightforward. Let's just drizzle a little bit on to make it easier for us. Grab yourself a brush and brush it on, and then we're going to get a nice sticky glazed top. And it will be sticky. It'll set a little bit with the icing sugar that's in there, but it's not going to set. It's going to be sticky. There you go, that's a fantastic sticky pudding right there. Okay, so grab yourself a rack, take out your cake and let it cool down. Okay, let's just move that to one side. We are going to make a quick custard to go with this. Grab yourself a pan. Homemade instant custard powder on the channel. So let's do a couple of tablespoons. We'll have a thick custard today, I think. Okay, we want a little splurge of milk in there. Oh, about that much. Now, if it goes too thick, we can always add a little bit more milk. Give that a little beat in there. Get a flame on. Start heating it up. That is flame off. I want it thick, but I want it runny. There you go, instant custard. 5 minutes, job done. Come on, in we go. How big do you want it? Ha ha! Look at that. That is absolutely sensational. Oh man. Come on. That is a perfect pudding. That is oatmeal ginger cake made. Oh, look at that. We are in. Look at that. That is exceptional. Oh. Oh. Wow. That is just superb. You know, it's like a soft sponge. In fact, it's crumbly with all the oats in there. It's very, very light. It's not stodgy. It's a fantastic, fantastic ginger sponge. You know, the oats in there, you've got the oat flavour coming through there. It's really delicious. Well, I can tell you what's happening. That is coming on here with some more custard. There you go. It is superb. It's simple. It's full of oats. It's very crumbly because of the oats. It's light. It's not stodgy. It's a fantastic dessert. Got that lovely ginger flavour. Serve it with custard, ice cream or cream or all of them. That is superb. That is one to make. If you like what we're doing, don't forget, share with your friends. Tell them how easy it is to make this oatmeal ginger cake. It is so simple. If you like what we're doing, a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. We'll catch you in the next video. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.